Hello humans, and welcome to the Madhouse, specifically the garden. It's not a great garden, but it's better than none. Today is the 17th of October. It is currently just over an hour until the Readathon starts, so I'm going to go out to a meeting at 12, and then I'm going to start at 1 o'clock, even though I have to leave the meeting early. Should be fun. Until later when I start, goodbye. About to turn 1 o'clock in just a few seconds, so I'm about to start reading A.S. Byatt's Possession. Apparently it's a romance, that's what it says on the cover page. I did not know this. You learn something new every day. Oh, the sun's in my eyes. No, that's even worse. Fair enough, so let's see in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're starting. The book was thick and black and covered with dust. Its boards were bowed and creaking. It had been maltreated in its own time. Its spine was missing, or rather protruded from among the leaves like a bulky marker. It was bandaged about and about with dirty white tape, tied into a neat bow. The librarian handed it to Roland Mitchell, who was sitting waiting for it in the reading room of the London Library. It had been exhumed from locked safe number 5, where it usually stood between pranks of Priapus and the Grecian way of love. It was 10 in the morning, one day in September 1986. Roland had the single small table he liked best behind a square pillar, with the clock over the fireplace nevertheless in full view. To his right was a high sunny window, through which you could see the high green leaves of St. James Square. And I shall finish reading this in a little while. See you later. Okay, so, shush. I'm afraid I'm a bit behind in my reading by about 4 hours, because after that reading before I was at a meeting, and then in Mad Hatter's tea party. I've got my top hat in here, I'll probably show that later. So I'm going to try and catch up this evening. Okay, so now it is currently 10 o'clock at night on Saturday. I have been at this non-stop since 5:30 when I got home, because I couldn't do much on before, as I mentioned. And I figured, well, I'm doing pretty well. I am now at chapter 54 of Life of Pi, because I'm listening to it at 3 times speed. And I am really, really enjoying it. It's far more poetic than the film, although I'm not really sure why many people complained about it, saying that it didn't really deserve the Man Booker Prize. Well, I would disagree quite a bit. I'm still not too sure about Possession now. I'm on about, well, I've not gotten much further. Still on about page 170, so only about 20 pages from when I updated on Twitter. And I have very mixed feelings. For the one part, I'm enjoying it because the story of reading and the love of books is really great, but I'm not connecting to the characters at all. Roland, I think his name is, I might have gotten that wrong, and Val, they're just boring. I mean, I thought Byatt was a fantasy author, and this is just dull. Doesn't matter. But I figured now I'd get something to eat, so I'm making myself a bacon butty on some homemade bread with some, well, just, let's call it Philly, but it isn't, with a latte and probably some strip waffles. And who knows, I might even do some hot Vimto as well, because it reminds me of my childhood. There's a whole story in that one, I'll tell you another time. But now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go and get back to reading. Okay, so it is currently 2:15 in the morning. I have been reading, well, since 10 o'clock now, after that quick break while I ate. I am at chapter 17 of this, which is page 299. So, I've not gone particularly far. I'm not really enjoying Possession very much. It just seems like she's deliberately trying to be literary, rather than it happening from its own merit. And I don't like it. It's forced and unnatural. I mean, it is literary. I'm studying it for a literary course, and it's good in a way. And I'm kind of enjoying it. Maud's fascinating, and Roland is interesting. But I'm not really feeling anything for Ash and... is it Christabella? Whatever this fictionalized version of Rosetta is supposed to be. It's just... romance isn't really my thing. It bores me. I mean, there's bits of fantasy and magic that would really interest me when you have some of Christabella's, whatever her name is, fiction thrown in. Nothing that really attracts my attention. I'm so very, very disappointed and not happy that I have to finish this. But I have a study group about this at 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. An hour after I finish this anyway, so I really do have to do it. Yay! Kill me now. But I've decided I'm taking a quick break from reading this, and instead I am doing a spot of colouring in this. I know it's kind of childish, and I said that I was not going to buy another one of these things because it's drawings that I could easily do myself, and I don't want to just pour money into something which I think is bullshit, but I have really been enjoying it, so maybe there is something to it. Maybe there is something to mindfulness anyway. I mean, if there is, then I'm probably not the best place for it, because research into mindfulness is being led from Bangor University, apparently. Or at least the psychology department does a lot about it. I don't know. But I finished Life of Pi, and I absolutely loved it. I'll give you my thoughts in it in a proper wrap-up rather than this as we go kind of thing. But it was very good. I'm also listening to Outlander right now, although I really could listen to Anthony and Cleopatra instead, but I'm just loving listening to it, although I'm slightly disappointed that there aren't more Scottish voices. The lady narrating is very English, which works because it's from Claire's perspective, but you'd expect someone who could do better Scottish accents. Never mind, I'm sure it will improve because I'm enjoying it already, and I'm already near the end of chapter 2, and each chapter's about 40 minutes long, so... Anyway, more again later. Bye! Right, so it is currently just gone 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm afraid I did have to have a sleep. I've not been feeling particularly well in the last few days, so it's not surprising. I woke up 10 minutes ago. I've been to the loo, and I'm about to start reading again. I shall report in about 4 hours and 45 minutes, so maybe 55 minutes that way. I've got 5 minutes left. Until then. Excuse me. Goodbye. Right, so I'm currently on my way into town to go and get some lunch because it's nearly 12 o'clock on Sunday. I have 1 hour left. I'm currently listening to Outlander, and as soon as I finish filming I'm going to keep reading Possession as I go along. So I'll keep you updated. Bye. Right, so it is coming up to 1 o'clock in just a few seconds. So I'm here at the Bellevue in Upper Bangor, where I just had a terribly burnt lasagna, but I have, well, I'm done about now. I am knackered and tired. I did finish Life of Pi, and I really, really loved it, and I'll probably do a review at some point. But I am at 347 pages of this, still not enjoying it. It's just kind of shite. Or rather, it's trying too hard to be good, and I've mentioned it, I don't like it. Whereas Outlander, I am more than halfway through it by now, and I'm really enjoying it. Not quite so much the television program because it's much slower, but there's far more detail and intrigue this way. I can't wait to read the second one and to watch the second series. But now I'm going to go. I have a study group about possession in an hour, which means I have to try and read another 300 pages in that short space of time, which isn't going to happen. Until next time, goodbye.